This is the third in our series of videos for the Deloitte Innovation Academy, and we're going to talk about understanding value, the value proposition, and why people buy things. If we want to understand innovation opportunity, we need to understand exactly what it is that motivates somebody to buy something, and we need to understand the chain of events that gets a product or a service or an idea from mind to market. We need to have a full understanding of that before we start thinking about our innovations and commercialisation and so on. So a good starting point in this conversation is to ask the question, why does anyone buy anything at all? I don't care if it's a motor car or a biro pen or some hairspray or a toothbrush or some toothpaste. There is a single reason why anybody buys anything. And I'm sure you've heard the term before, but it's probably useful to just refresh this. It's called the value proposition. If I spend $A to get B, I will only do so if I think B is greater than or at least equal to A. When anybody goes to purchase anything, that equation is going through their mind. And we often fail to understand that. Now, we see a lot of advertising, a lot of promotion, a lot of games, a lot of all sorts and manner of things to try and promote products, and that's in the name of advertising and promotion and so on. But do you know what that's really doing? All they're trying to do is find a mechanism to build up the value of B so that you will spend your money. Essentially, that's what promotions and advertising is all about, is positioning your product or the B so that people will spend their A to get it. So when you buy something, just remember this. And if you've ever heard the term buyer's remorse, buyer's remorse happens when you go into a place, you purchase something, and you walk out and you think, oh, I shouldn't have really bought that, I shouldn't have spent that much money or whatever. That's buyer's remorse. And really what you're doing is you're questioning this equation. Now, people don't see it in those lights. But that is how simple this is. Understand this value proposition, because that is what underpins every purchase. And it's your job as entrepreneurs, marketers and business builders to try and work out how ways to communicate the value of B. Now, the other thing to think about in the innovation and opportunity space is the value chain. Now, let's take a typical physical product and look at the value chain. Now, this is the chain of events that occurs between someone coming up with an idea and someone using it. We might have the inventor, perhaps, maybe the product developer, maybe the manufacturer, maybe the distributor, maybe the wholesaler, maybe the retailer, maybe the purchaser, maybe the user, and even now, these days, we have to think about the disposer. Disposal of products is one of the things we think about now when we purchase something. Now, the interesting thing about this value chain is that every person in this value chain must have B greater than or equal to A, or your product or service will not make it to market. If a single person playing this game doesn't have a positive value proposition, forget it. And it's really interesting to start to look at some of the ways that products get to market and some of the failures that can occur, and some of the motivations for people to buy something. An interesting question to ask, and I must say I've asked this in classes of students who aren't yet parents. And I've asked the students, both male and female, what is the value proposition for a mother purchasing a child a toy? Now, the students wrestle with this and they say, oh, we're trying to educate the child, we're trying to give it some fun, yeah, right. Ask this in a room of adults who are parents or have had younger children. They will instantly give you the answer. The value proposition for a mother or a father purchasing the child a toy is, what are they buying? Peace and quiet. But folks are purchasing peace and quiet. Of course, you want your child to be safe, and you perhaps will benefit with some educational value from this toy, but essentially, you buy your child a toy to get a bit of peace and quiet. There's some other interesting things to look at in this value chain. I can enunciate a product that I actually lodged a patent for, and I could talk about patents. In Australia, for example, and I will just divert on patents for a few minutes, If you have an idea and you think it's worth going somewhere with, it's a good idea to lodge what is referred to in Australia as a provisional patent. You can actually lodge a provisional patent online if you go to the IP Australia website. You describe the product, the idea, what the invention is about and how it differs from any prior art, as we call it, what happened before. You can write some claims about what you claim that is different. You can lodge that online to the Australian Patents Office. That gives you protection or a priority date in something like 188 countries worldwide for 12 months while you explore the market for this product. Do you know what the cost to lodge a provisional patent is? $80. I write many provisional patents when I have an idea, I lodge them, then I explore the commercial opportunity. If it's no good, dump it. I don't persist with the dumb idea, I dump it. So, worth thinking about. I want to talk about a product I've recently lodged a patent for, and I've asked this question in 26 countries of audiences where I've spoken. When you go to a typical building, say an office block, and there's a toilet in the building, and let's pretend that's the toilet. There's a hinge there, a door there with a handle on it, and some cubicles and some sinks. You go into the toilet, you do your thing, you wash your hands, and you exit. Who looks forward to grabbing the door to walk out the door? I mean, it might be sticky or wet or dirty or who knows. Now, I've actually been going to take some scrapings off one of those toilet door handles and get them analysed for bacteria because I'm sure they are awash with bacteria. So, I've actually patented a solution to this problem. And I've done it by capturing the energy in the door opener so that when someone walks in, we capture the energy that's expended in opening the door, run a little copper tube down onto the floor, and when you want to exit, you press this little copper tube and the door opens as if by magic. Now, as I said, I've asked people in 26 countries at conferences, are they intimidated by opening this door? And everyone universally says yes. I've been to many companies that make door opening devices and door closers. No one is interested in manufacturing this product. There is worldwide demand, no one will make it. You've got to ask the question, why is this so? And I explored this, and it all comes down to a breakdown in the value chain. Do you know why? In most cases, people in buildings are tenants. They are the persons who get the benefit from such a device being installed on a toilet door. But who pays for it? In fact, the person that pays for it is the building owner. So in this case, we've got the tenant getting the value, V, from this device I could fit to a door, but the person who has to pay for it, the user, let me rephrase that, the user gets the benefit, but the person who pays for it is the owner of the building. They get no value at all. And guess what? Even if they don't install it, you'll still use the toilet, you'll still use the toilet door, so why bother? Isn't that fascinating? Here's a product that everyone in the world wants, but no one will manufacture. And why? Because the value chain breaks down. There's one other category of products that are probably worth mentioning when we think about some of this sort of thing, and that is safety devices. It's really interesting that people are loath to invest in prevention. Have a think about that. People are loath to invest in prevention. So if you have a safety product or a safety innovation that you want to bring onto the market, you better think very carefully about how you position that, because things like seatbelts in every motor car prevent serious injury and many accidents. Yet we have to pass a law to make people to wear them. Smoke detectors, $7 each. We have to pass a law to make you buy one. Life jackets. It was only recently that they introduced a law that actually made you carry a life jacket in a small boat. And now they've passed a law saying you must wear it if the boat's under a certain length. It's really interesting. People just do not want to invest in prevention. So what I say to you as entrepreneurs and innovators and opportunists is, before you start getting too heavily involved in the launch of a new opportunity, consider the value chain and make sure that every participant is a winner. Because if B isn't bigger than A, your product will likely fail.